for Courtenay-Alberni.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank my friend and colleague, the Parliamentary Secretary, for his speech. We'll be supporting this motion, as you know, Madam Speaker, to support transparency. Madam Speaker, the member talked about contingency, talked about when times are tough that the government can react. We've seen the biggest drop on the Toronto Stock Exchange today since 1987. We've seen oil prices lose 30% of their value over the last day. Madam Speaker, this is a different time. We need a government with a plan. We need a government that's going to build, help diversify our economy, build more resiliency, and build and invest in the future. Right now, we're seeing a government that's committed $17.1 billion to the Trans Mountain Pipeline. What we need is a climate bank right now, Madam Speaker, a plan to build and invest in clean energy so that the workers that are going to be most affected are going to get a job, investing in salmon restoration, projects that are going to get people to work immediately. Madam Speaker, I asked the member, will he come up with an immediate plan for Canadians that are being impacted by what's happening with COVID-19 and the crisis that we're facing that we've never seen before, like we're seeing today. And we're expecting an emergency package right now for Canadians that's going to move us forward for the next generation and the future generations to come.
Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and it'll take me a moment to unpack some of the different angles of that question. With respect to COVID-19, yes, it requires a serious response given the nature of the public health emergency that we are dealing with. Respectfully, we've engaged the Canada Operations Centre to make sure that all government departments coordinate their efforts. The Public Health Agency of Canada has coordinated the efforts with all of the provincial and territorial health authorities to ensure that the frontline care is actually meeting the quality of service that they would expect. We're coordinating our efforts with the World Health Organization. We also recognize that there is an economic impact, and with respect, there will be details shared soon about support for those who have to deal with self-isolation to help combat the spread of COVID-19. Of course, you mentioned the significant drop in global oil prices as a result of OPEC's, disagreement between essentially Saudi Arabia and Russia in recent days. The fact is, we've actually been working on a transition and a diversification of the economy for 4.5 years. This is not something, because an emergency has propped up, we're suddenly needing to respond to, though it does also require an acute response. The fact is, we've been diversifying the economy by investing in infrastructure, changing rules around immigration to bring a more talented labor force to Canada to fill the needs where employers can't meet the needs locally. We've been investing in innovation to boost research, which is now paying dividends through the commercialization of new technologies that have been developed right here in Canada. We've been engaging in investment and trade to have new markets come to our country. The fact is, we have been making the investments he's now calling for the past 4.5 years, and we're going to continue to make those kinds of investments because they're good for the Canadian economy and good for Canadians.
Questions and comments.